40 love.
Well, that's what we thought he should do, just take a cut at the ball, but I guess that's always the danger. Hitting the backstop with that one.
Game simmering. Two all. Let's serve.
Siemerink at the last change of ends, I could see him a few times just rolling his neck from side to side. He did it again, almost as though he's trying to keep himself loose.
It's tired. It's a tired point. Tired volleying, tired smash.
It's a hard feeling to explain to people who haven't experienced it, but basically your muscles just stop contracting. They don't work. It's a horrible feeling when you're out on the court. Everybody's been through it. Oh.
Love 13.
Tenth ace for rusedski. There's a foot fault called again.
Well, to be fair to the line judges, he's been foot faulted from both ends, so it's not as though somebody is seeing it differently.
You'd think, though, as well, Wally, the amount of times he has been foot faulted in this match, normally he doesn't do it, but you'd think he'd stand maybe half a foot back, just to make sure that he doesn't.
Or even inquire as to which foot it is. Maybe he has during a break, we haven't seen it. Well, a little pump of the fist there from Siemerink, and we haven't seen too many clean passing shots in this match. And if there have been any made, it's usually been off this wing from Siemerink, the backhand, this more orthodox side.
Well done, Greg.
Juice.
You can see that he wants this so badly, but he's just running on vapor almost.
Well, that was the volley that he knocked the point off with, but the pickup was great.
And what I'm sure will be frustrating for Siemerink is that he must see that rusedski is struggling, but he just can't break him.
Well, you can almost see it there in Siemerink's eyes, couldn't you?
Game.
Guts from rusedski, and he leads 3-2, final set.
Rusedski leads 3-2.
I suppose, Wally, what Siemerink must not do is get frustrated. It's obvious, I think, to him and I think to us and to everybody watching that he is he's in better shape right now than rusedski, but rusedski has got that weapon still. Okay, it's not being banged down at 130, 135 like he
might be tempted to sit down and stay down if he gets there. You can see him there just shaking his legs. A couple of times he's done some quad stretches.
Time.
This is purely talking sportsmanship, but you know, when you get into this sort of position deep into a fifth set and you're struggling, it might be advisable to him to say, well, he's got a bit of cramp and take a 3-minute injury timeout. I know you might say, well, it's cheating, but I think he's got to use everything at his disposal if he wants to get through this.
Well, cramp's a real possibility anyway, so who knows, but I tend to think he's pretty straightforward sort of guy, Greg. I tend to think he'll just play it as it is. We'll see. He may well need an injury timeout the way he's feeling.
2-3 final set.
15 love. Love. Lex for serve. Love.
Bit of a danger if Siemerink runs through service games this easily. If you're a little fired up on return.
Game Siemerink.
I always used to really try hard just to win 1 point on return, because I always felt if the guy rolled through serve to love, he kind of had a bit of a spring in his step and was really motivated to jump onto your serve.
There's a second hold to love that Siemerink's had in a row.
Love.
Do you really have to worry if Greg does get through this? How a guy like Bjorkman, for example, he's so good off the ground, he's going to work Greg mercilessly in both serving and returning games. So the future's not looking that rosy for Greg Rusedski at this point. What he needs to somehow pinch this match. Then we need about 5 days of rain, so he can recuperate and come back fresh midway through next week.
Yeah, and every day you have a ton of pasta to build his reserves back up.
This match reminds me a little bit. A couple of years ago, Pete Sampras was playing Alex Corretja. Really struggled.
On this court.
That's correct. Sampras did get out of that match. I don't know how. He was actually sick on court.
40-13.
He went on to win the title too that year, Pete Sampras.
Well, he's hanging in, Rusedski. He really is hanging in by the skin of his teeth. 4-3, he leads final set. It's 2 matches. It's been a gargantuan effort. When he hasn't really come into this the tournament particularly fit.
Yeah, I have to agree.
15 love.
Coming back from match points in both of his first 2 rounds, Herculean effort and starting to take its toll. Nice touch there from Siemerink, making Rusedski extend to the furthest point of the court, which he wasn't willing to do.
30 love.
That final shot from Siemerink, completing a sequence with 12 points in a row on his own serve. If rusedski can just hold 2 more service games, he's in with a shot.
15 love.
Volley.
Well, this is where it's become interesting again, because Siemerink has tightened up a little bit and he just can't generate any pace off the ground to hurt Greg at this point on return. Well, you could hear the effort of Greg Rusedski getting back for this smash, really grunting. Might have caught to the back, to the forehand side of Siemerink, but he read it well. Threaded the needle. 15 all.
It's unlucky. It was a good serve.
It was a great serve, and you have to think that Siemerink really didn't get a good piece of that. Just floated it up the line. Inch perfect as it turned out. Just can't seem to make a telling return at the right moment, Siemerink. 3 hours, 12 minutes played now. And still, it's anybody's match, as long as rusedski holds on to his serve. If he doesn't, you think he'd crack. Well, Siemerink just full of running. And a few Dutch supporters in the crowd. They're enjoying this. It's a good scrap. So break point, almost a match point.
So Siemerink breaks, and he'll serve for a place in the 4th round. Quite frankly, I'm surprised it's taken him this long to do this.
That return was just horrible. And then he showed great hands to pick up the next shot. So a little bit lucky in the end, but have a look at this return. The high floater charge in behind it, relies on his good hands and gets out of it. But rusedski, he's dead on his feet, and he has been pretty much since the beginning of the 4th set. It was almost inevitable.
Well, this match being greatly appreciated by the Stadium 2 crowd.